AskReddit number 8. For people who grew up before smartphones, what is something that the newer generation won't get to experience? Carrying around a dozen or more phone numbers in your head. Or just memorizing the pattern instead of the numbers, lol. The freedom of your parents not being able to get a hold of you while you're out and about with friends. A life that's not recorded. The ability to make mistakes and not have them follow you online for the rest of your life. They'll never grasp the level of anonymity we enjoyed as a society. The ability to just fuck off. You can still do it by leaving your phone at home for the day or whatever, but it's not really socially acceptable. If someone wants to get a hold of you, you'll come home to piles of calls and voicemails as the people on the other end assume you're dead. In the 90s, it wasn't just socially acceptable to disappear for a day, it was assumed that's how things would work. If someone couldn't get a hold of you, they just shrugged and dealt with it. If you went out shopping or something, you got home when you got home and that was that. Even disregarding how difficult it is for people to willingly switch off from digital engagement, which is a huge problem in its own right, the shift from people assuming you're unavailable and feeling lucky if they manage to connect, to assuming you're available and being offended or worried if they can't connect, is a truly massive shift in how humans interact with each other. Getting on your bike and just driving to your friend's house not knowing if they are there or not. Comment, the awkwardness of sitting at a friend's house with their mom/dad while you waited. I remember going to my buddy's house and his parents thought it would be a good idea to make him explain to me himself why he was grounded and he couldn't come hang out. They went to get him and he had escaped, so I basically got him in trouble. Horribly awkward but also kinda hilarious. Having to memorize the directions for how to get somewhere without GPS maps. Comment. I played ice hockey on a travel team in the 90s and early aughts, so we frequently traveled out of state, usually via personal vehicles, and we'd carpool. The way MapQuest directions used to print out, it was just turn by turn, so if you fucked up and missed a turn you were fucked unless you could get back on track. You had to carry a road atlas with maps of each city as well, so someone in the back could figure out where TF you were and how to get where you're going if you fucked up your MapQuest directions. It's probably hard for kids these days to imagine, but you had no fucking phones in the car if you had trouble or got lost. If you broke down in the middle of nowhere, you had to hope someone stopped to help you. You were unreachable away from home. If something happened, you couldn't just call your friend or boss and tell them you're gonna be late because you got a flat. Or call for a tow truck. There was no Google. We had a giant book with the phone numbers of every business in the area called the Yellow Pages, and a white pages with individual addresses and phone numbers too, that hung underneath the pay phones, and you'd have to get a ride to a pay phone and look up a tow company in the white pages and call them and then just hope to fuck they can find you. Shit was wild. Looking back on it, I don't know how we survived, but we thought nothing of it. That's just the way things were. We didn't know any different or what we were missing out on. Calling a boyfriend/girlfriend and having to have an awkward conversation with their parent before getting to talk to them. Comment, or getting shouted at to get off the phone, I'm expecting a call. Or someone picking up the other line and listening in. My little sister used to listen into my phone calls with my girlfriend when we were in high school. I found out she was doing it one day without letting her know. Over the course of the next 2 months, my girlfriend and I proceeded to fuck with her by making up more and more outrageous stories, e.g. we were planning on eloping, we had seen my sister's friend drink a bottle of nail polish remover in school, my girlfriend's dog's head exploded, we both witnessed 2 teachers fighting over a block of cheese in the grocery store. Having fun arguing about daft things that you could solve easily by Googling. Who was the actress in such and such? What year did that happen? I miss those daft pub chats. Comment, I worked in a classified facility with no internet or cell phones. When it was slow around holidays, we would have epic hours-long arguments about something that was easy to solve with a Google search. Us scientists and engineers had a half-day argument about whether the salt they used to de-ice roads, road salt, was sodium chloride or magnesium chloride. The debates always started as something stupid to challenge or save someone's ego, then others would get roped in. We phoned multiple PhD chemists, metallurgists, and material scientists from other departments and were researching through thick chemist reference books. Some argued that road salt is a colloquial term and doesn't tell you the composition. Others thought it was ridiculous to use table salt for salting roads. Others relied on their experience clearing driveways. We had probably 20 PhDs arguing on this problem. It was so much fun. Mom, I'm going to ride my bike. Okay honey, be back before dinner. Proceed to go and get into absolutely ridiculous and often unsafe situations in places my parents didn't even know existed, while they had zero way of contacting or finding me and my friends. How was riding bikes, honey? Oh good, we just rode up the bike path to an SOS house and played some video games as I'm processing some sort of trauma because we just almost got killed for some reason. You could go to the record store, or movie rental store, shop for music, and there would be other people there who liked the same music as you. Now the record store is on your phone, and there is nobody in there to talk to. The joys of leaving your home in the morning with a pocket full of coins and knowing that not only were you not expected back until sundown, but they couldn't find you even if they wanted to, lol. I can still remember the 6-digit phone numbers of my 3 closest friends, my parents' house at the time, and our next-door neighbors. My parents were over there all the time, especially during summer. Your boss can't get a hold of you if you don't want them to, and that was perfectly acceptable because it was the norm. These days many employers expect someone to be available by phone 24/7 and, to me, that's BS. Born in 78. Someone brought up what we did on our work breaks before smartphones, and that was weirdly kinda nostalgic. I'd bullshit with coworkers, read a magazine, everyone always had a book on hand. As technology advanced, someone with a Game Boy/PSP, the DS, was really popular. But sometimes people would just listen to their iPod. Not trying to be old man, things were better back in my day about it, but just carrying around long-form content and utilizing it. Like it was easy and encouraged. Or you'd get like a 15-minute break at work, couldn't really go anywhere, so you'd be sitting in the break room and just bullshit about the day with other coworkers or get to know them. You were on your break and wanted to relax/unwind, so everyone tended to be cordial. The satisfaction of slamming the phone down when hanging up on someone. Crank calls. Looking up numbers in phone books and facts in encyclopedias. Talking on the phone for hours. Now we text as a warning or permission to call. Knowing a plethora of phone numbers by memory. The joy of slamming a phone receiver down in someone's ear when they pissed you off. It wasn't just the click of a call disconnecting. There was an actual, loud bang when you did it. Very satisfying in the moment. The busy signal that meant you couldn't reach someone because they were on the phone was frustrating, but looking back at it now, it kept our lives more simple than they are now. The lack of pressure. I was a teen in the 80s. I have told my kids, who are teens, I wish they could have one summer in 1986 just so they could experience what life is like without the constant fire hose of social media posts and ads and messages, an expectation that you have to constantly check your socials and post about your awesome life. Teens now live under the weight of insane social pressure. Going to a concert and actually watching the concert with your eyes, not through a screen trying to capture the experience. I'm sure most of these have already been mentioned, but being forced to have face-to-face interaction, playing outside, having to come up with your own ways to kill time, being able to do something without it being recorded, having a follower count not influence who wants to be your friend. Comment, biking to my friend's house on a summer day and knocking on the door on asking if they can come out and play without any prior coordination was just part of life. Maybe they were there, maybe they were gone for the day. You didn't know. You didn't call beforehand because you were already biking to the 7-Eleven and thought, maybe Mark or Justin wants to hang out too. I should go get them. Waiting for things to happen. Comment, honestly, true boredom. The kind of boredom I used to experience during summer as a kid. Back when I had no internet or computer at home. We didn't have satellite channels or cable, pretty normal back then for most people in my country, and during the middle of the day, they showed TV shop commercials, weather reports, that kind of stuff. You had something to watch from 6 to 7 to about 11 to 12 in the morning, and then evening stuff from around 15 or so. In the middle of the day? Nothing. I had a cassette player, but not that many cassettes. Most of my friends lived far enough that it wasn't easy to visit, and you just didn't visit unannounced either, you made plans to visit. And many weren't even at home during summer, they had grandparents they stayed with elsewhere. So true boredom. I had read all the books we had at home. Nothing on TV. No computer, no internet, no smartphone, no nothing. We didn't have newspaper delivered as it was pretty expensive. I think I ended up going to the local library one summer every second or third day because I basically read through the entire, small, children's section. I don't think kids today can fathom this. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought about these stories. What would you do in their situation? Here are some other videos I highly recommend, and don't forget you'll find a wide variety of them on my channel. See you next time.